All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of J-Fabe Wrestling. Now we're going to look at WrestleMania 19. Some regard this as the second best WrestleMania of all time. I would agree, had a lot of great matches on here. But it was just a weird time in professional wrestling, We were transitioning from the Attitude Era to Ruthless Aggression Era. And, this would be Austin's last WrestleMania for many years. Rock, he would come back again next year, but he would be gone pretty much the whole year. But we also had the return of Shawn Michaels, which was pretty cool. The rise of Brock Lesnar and the brand split. So we had Raw and SmackDown both represented here. So, yeah, I thought it was a good Mania for sure. But unfortunately, the buy rate was not that high. I think the Royal Rumble had a higher buy rate, which is unfortunate because this is a great card. But I guess, you could see that there was a decline after, the Attitude Era peak, which makes sense in the invasion and all that. So, yeah, let's get into the card. So this is what happened on the main card. I believe there's a tag team title match, RVD and Kane versus Lance Storm and Chief Morley. That was on Sunday Night Heat. You had the Women's Championship, Victoria defending against Lita and Trish and Jazz. Cruiserweight Championship, you got Matt Hardy defending against Rey Mysterio. The WWE Tag Team Championship, we got Team Angle defending against Los Guerreros, Benoit, and Rhyno. Then we got, what else we have? Shawn Michaels versus Chris Jericho. Undertaker versus Big Show and A-Train. Nathan Jones was supposed to be in the match, but he got attacked just before the match. Vince McMahon versus Hulk Hogan. Steve Austin versus The Rock. World Heavyweight Championship match, Triple H versus Booker T. And the WWE Championship match, Kurt Angle versus Brock Lesnar. Yeah, so I believe I named all the matches on the card. Let me know if I missed anything. But yeah, you had, again, Jericho and Shawn was great. Austin and Rock, they still had chemistry. That was great. Hogan and Vince was surprisingly great. And the main event was great, despite the botch of obviously Brock Lesnar doing a shooting star press. I guess the only down you could look at this card is the, Triple H going over Booker T. It was a good match, but just the ending really killed that match. And also, Undertaker probably deserved a better match as well. So, yeah, I'm going to try and fix all this. And, yeah, let's get to it. So the first match, Women's Championship match, Victoria versus Trish. I just like having singles matches sometimes, you don't need triple threats all the time. And I thought their feud definitely, deserved it. They had the hardcore match at Survivor Series. Yeah, and I just have, Trish, continue to be a thorn in Victoria's backside. And she wins the number one contenders match. And, she says, we're going to end it for Raw at WrestleMania. I'm going to finally regain my championship. So it's a nice little chase story for Trish. And I'd give Trish the win. She did win in the real match. So, yeah. All right, next match, we got the Cruiserweight Championship match. Keep it the same, Matt Hardy versus Rey Mysterio. I would actually have Rey Mysterio go over here. I felt like Rey Mysterio deserved this nice moment, and I'll give them definitely more time. I think the rematch was like 5 or 6 minutes. They deserve at least 8 to 10 minutes. And yeah, this was a good feud. Matt Hardy, obviously, he had to make weight. And you see him working out, and Taz is thinking he's drinking that BJ, and it's like, that banana juice and all that, and he's talking about nut butter. And Matt was hilarious at this time, so be a good match, and yeah, Ray gets the feel good moment. All right, next match, we got the World Tag Team Championships, so the Raw Championships. I'd have Booker T and Goldust defend against Kane and Hurricane, defend against the Dudley Boyz and Lance Storm and Christian. So yeah, Booker T and Goldust did win. the titles at Armageddon from Jericho and Christian, straight up tag team match. And yeah, you could have the Bischoff administration, say the Dudleys lose to them, and now they're under Bischoff's control, and they're saying, oh, you gotta help Lance Storm and Christian win the championship. It's supposed to be Regal, but Regal got hurt, so Christian's kind of taking William Regal's spot and teaming with Lance Storm. So the Dudley Boyz are kind of heel in this match. They're working together with Lance Storm and Christian, and Kane and Hurricane as well. Kane could talk about how we won TLC 4 and we deserve to be in this match. And yeah, I think Hurricane definitely deserved to be on the card too. He had great work with The Rock. So, and I'd actually have Booker T and Goldust retain here. Be a fun match. They could pin Lance Storm after Dudley Boyz kind of mess up and accidentally hit Lance Storm, and Booker and Goldust could take advantage. So, yep. All right, now we're at the WWE Tag Team Championship match. So we got Los Guerreros versus Team Angle versus the Big Show and A-Train versus Tajiri and Rhyno. So yeah, I have something better for Benoit to do, and obviously you have something different for Undertaker to do. But yeah, I think this will be a great match. A lot of great workers here. Obviously Los Guerreros and Team Angle, they had a great feud within this year. I really had nothing else to do for Big Show and A-Train, but I felt like they deserved to be on the card. And Rhyno, he just returned, so I felt like he should have been on the card as well. So I had him team up with Tajiri here. And yeah, you got a lot of great talent here to actually have Team Angle get the win. They could pin like Tajiri after taking advantage. And yeah, I think it'll be a good showcase for Team Angle to get the win at WrestleMania. All right, now we're at Chris Benoit versus John Cena. Yes, John Cena makes his debut here. In real life, he was rapping on Sunday Night Heat, but here he's gonna face Chris Benoit. John Cena could just be rapping about everyone, and Benoit can come out and say, you got no respect for the people who came before you. And John Cena is like, I don't need to respect you. I'm the new school, So yeah, and then you can have Benoit, play mind games with John Cena, trying to get him in the crossface. Cena would escape, and Benoit saying, you're a punk kid, but I'm the best technical wrestler. And John Cena could be like, I ain't a wrestler, I'm a street fighter, and at WrestleMania we're gonna fight. So yeah, so we have a little personal feud here. And usually I would give John Cena the win, but they're building Benoit towards eventually becoming a world champion within the next year. So I'd give Benoit a win. Feel good moment for Benoit because he missed last year's WrestleMania as well. So yeah, and Cena, he was still on the rise. He wasn't there yet, but I think a showcase at WrestleMania will definitely do him good. All right. Next, we got Shawn Michaels versus Chris Jericho. Keep this the same. Great feud. I like Jericho calling Shawn the has-been kid. That was pretty funny. And then, of course, the Royal Rumble with Shawn Michaels getting eliminated by Chris Jericho after, Christian was pretending to be Chris Jericho, and Shawn got bloodied up by a steel chair, and then he came back later in the match to help Jericho get eliminated. So that was good. So those are all good. And then, to keep the great promos between them where, Shawn is saying, like, he's the greatest, and Jericho says, he wanted to be like Shawn, and now he's like, I want to be Chris Jericho because I'm better than Shawn. So yeah, keep that going. Have the same match. I was thinking should Jericho win, but no, this is Shawn's return match, and Jericho is pretty much bulletproof, so I'd have Shawn get the win here, just like he did in real life. All right, now we got a couple inter-promotional matches here. We got The Undertaker versus Scott Steiner. Yes. I would not have Scott Steiner fight Triple H at Rumble or No Way Out. I have Steiner do something different. I think he's actually better as a heel because he's just so cocky and arrogant. And actually have Undertaker eliminate Scott Steiner at the Royal Rumble. And then Scott Steiner could say he wants to challenge The Undertaker. He wants, Big Evil versus, Big Papa Pump. And, Undertaker cannot really be focused on that. And after he beats Big Show at No Way Out, have Scott Steiner attack him, put him in the Steiner recliner, and talk about how he's the baddest on the block, and Undertaker could be like, you know what? Undertaker would say, I accept, but, it's going to be your worst decision you ever made. So, yeah, I think it'll be a good match. Brawlers, Yeah, you don't have to give him too much time. Undertaker obviously wins, and I just felt Scott Steiner, he was a big name to be left off WrestleMania. He headlined the previous two show pay-per-views, and he got a monster pop at Survivor Series. So I feel like he deserved, kind of a big match at Mania, and him versus Undertaker would be good. I think it'd be probably on par with the A-Train Big Show match, but it'd probably even be better just because it's more focused. So yeah. All right, next up, we got No Holds Barred, Vince McMahon versus Eric Bischoff. Yes, so Vince representing SmackDown, Bischoff representing Raw. You could have the same thing where, Bischoff is like, about to get fired by Vince because Vince thinks Raw sucks. But then Bischoff is able to sign Austin, so Vince is like, congratulations. You're not fired, but you earned a match at WrestleMania against me. And then, they could talk about the old promos, where Eric said, he said he challenged Vince on a pay-per-view, I believe, in WCW, and he said he could kick Vince's ass and all that. Vince could bring that up and say, I didn't forget Eric. And the funny thing is, I kicked your ass, and now look who's working for me. So, you could have some real shoot promos here. Yeah, it'll be a street fight, and yeah, I give Vince the win. Of course, Vince is gonna book himself over Eric. Yeah, they don't have to go too long. Maybe like 5-8 minutes. They can have all the weapons and all that stuff. So, yeah, it should be fun. All right, now we're at the big four matches here. I got Steve Austin versus Ric Flair. So you might be thinking, interesting. So I'd have Austin return actually at No Way Out. Eric will sign Austin by saying he's giving him a World Heavyweight Championship match against Triple H at No Way Out. So Austin returns. Yeah, good match. Ric Flair cost Steve Austin the match. And Austin next night on Raw says, I haven't forgotten about last year, Rick, where, you turned on me. And I remember Ric Flair turned heel on Steve. And I understand because you're jealous that I'm the greatest of all time. And they can have great promos with Flair. Be like, before you, there was me. And I was winning world titles while, you were a ringmaster and all that. And Austin could talk about, I was winning world titles while you were arguing with Eric Bischoff, and all that stuff. So, it'd be good stuff. I could see it being similar like Austin versus Scott Hall, where Ric Flair's just bumping like crazy for Steve. And, yeah, you got to give Steve the feel-good victory. I wanted to switch it up. I know Steve versus The Rock's iconic, but I wanted to switch it up. And, yeah, so that's that. All right, next up is Hulk Hogan versus The Rock. I know what you're thinking. We did have it last year, but again, we're fantasy booking in my world here. So last year I had Austin versus Hogan. So now we're getting Hulk versus The Rock. And also, they did have it at No Way Out, but I'm not having it here. I'd actually have Hulk challenge Kurt Angle at No Way Out. And that's when The Rock would, appear, hit Hogan with a rock bottom, and Kurt gets the win. And yeah, you could just have the same feud that, they had at No Way Out, where, Rock is jealous of Hulk getting all the cheers. And the Rock's like, I didn't leave you, so why you cheering for Hogan? And Hogan can talk about how, Rock's a punk jabroni and all that stuff. And yeah, obviously their No Way Out match wasn't good, but I feel like if they had their first match, it'd be at WrestleMania. I think it'd be better because No Way Out was their second match, so the luster and the hype was kind of gone. But this would be their first match in my world, and Hogan would actually be the face, and The Rock would be the heel. So they're perfectly aligned. You don't gotta switch, or Rock doesn't have to play heel in the match. He is the heel in the match, and yeah, I feel like you gotta take advantage of Hulk Hogan. Him versus Vince was big, but again, him versus Rock and him versus Austin, I feel like those were the two matches to have with Hulk Hogan. So, yeah, give The Rock the win. No handshake after that because The Rock is still a heel, and he goes over to Raw and he fights Bill Goldberg. So, yep. All right, now we're at the final two title matches here. We have the World Heavyweight Championship, Triple H versus Rob Van Dam. Yes. So, again, I wouldn't have Triple H be given the world title. He would, win it at a tournament at Unforgiven. It'd be him versus Ric Flair, actually, in the finals. So, him and Rob don't touch. Rob would defeat Shawn at No Way Out in a number one contenders match to earn a shot at RVD, and Triple H can he could try and downplay RVD, saying welcome to the big leagues and all that, and RVD could talk about when you were injured, icing your knees, I was headlining WWF and taking over, and now that you're back, I can't wait to beat you and prove that I'm better than you. So yeah, it'll be good, good feud there. Obviously, you have Evolution. I don't know if they're injured yet, but they'll try to beat down RVD. RVD can have his ECW friends help him out with that, like Tommy Dreamer and all that. So, yeah, be a good match. And I actually would have RVD win the World Heavyweight Championship just because, he definitely deserved it. Him and Booker were, both over, but I feel like RVD was a little more over than Booker. And I think he deserved it more just because, the work he put in during the invasion, and eventually he would become WWE champion, but that was 3 years later, and took a while. I think RVD definitely deserved this match, and yeah. And now we got the main event, Kurt Angle versus Brock Lesnar. Again, same match, same feud, same build. Kurt, he wins the title at Armageddon with the help from Brock from the Big Show. Brock wins the Rumble. They have the fake title match there where, Eric Angle switches with Kurt. Kurt gets to roll up win. Ideally, I would try to avoid that, but I understand the situation they're in. They're thinking about, removing Kurt from the title match, so I understand that. So I guess if you have to keep it, you have to keep it. And, yeah. Brock gets the win. I guess the shooting star has to happen, I guess. But, I mean, I would say hopefully it wouldn't happen. But, man, that just made the match even more memorable. So, and Brock, he recovered from that pretty well. So, I think it's okay. Brock gets the win. And, yeah, him and Kurt shake hands. And it's the Brock Lesnar era until, next year. Then he leaves, but so yeah, guys, that is my WrestleMania card. Let me know what you think about it. Let me run over the card right now for you. So we got the Women's Championship match, Victoria defending against Trish Stratus. Cruiserweight Championship match, Matt Hardy version 1 defending against Rey Mysterio. The World Tag Team Championship match, Booker T and Goldust defending against Kane and the Hurricane. The Dudley Boys, Lance Storm and Christian. We got the WWE Tag Team Championship match, Los Guerreros defending against Team Angle, Tajiri and Rhyno, and the Big Show and A-Train. We got Chris Benoit versus John Cena, Shawn Michaels versus Chris Jericho, The Undertaker versus Scott Steiner, No Holds Barred, Vince McMahon versus Eric Bischoff, Steve Austin versus Ric Flair, Hulk Hogan versus The Rock, the World Heavyweight Championship match, Triple H versus Rob Van Van Dam, and for the WWE Championship, Kurt Angle defending against Brock Lesnar. So hey guys, that's my card. Let me know what you think. Appreciate all the support, and peace.